Hello ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolescence and welcome back to another video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And in this video, I'm really excited to be sharing with my subscribers my top 10 favorite fragrances for the fall of 2016. And this is going to be the niche list. So every year I try to do two seasonal lists. So I do a niche list and a designer list. My designer list is not out yet, but the moment it does come out, I am going to leave a link down below. So make sure you check that one now. I want to start things off by saying this is a list that I put together myself. These are fragrances that I have within my collection. There are a lot of fragrances out there that would work really, really well in the fall, but I try to limit it to the ones that I have in my collection. I've been collecting fragrances since I was about 10 years old. I have over 500 bottles in my collection and I've smelled thousands of fragrances more. So I want to thank you guys for trusting my opinion. I hope this is the list to end all lists. Now, I don't want to waste too much more time, so let's go ahead and start things off with my number 10. We have no honorable mentions today. My number 10 is a fragrance that I'm very near and dear with, and I'm very passionate about this one. This is a bottle that was sent to me recently, and I have been wearing it very often since then. And it's by Imaginary Authors, and it's called Slow Explosions. This is a wonderful blend of rose, apple, saffron, leather, and spices. So exotic, it's sensual, it has that sort of exotic nuance about it. It's spicy, but it has a sweetness to it as well. Perfect, perfect, perfect for the fall time. The second fragrance in my collection is another one that I feel very passionately about, and I had the opportunity to meet the creative director from this brand, and I asked him, if you were to see me wearing one of your fragrances, which one would it be? And he actually pointed me in the direction of this one, and it's a very nostalgic scent for me, and it's an amazing performer. This one by the House of Room 1015 is called Electric Wood. It's a fragrance that was actually made to smell like an electric guitar. With the lacquer finish and the wood, it's so amazing. I mean, it has this ambroxan base that adds a level of regality and refinement to the composition. If you haven't tried this one out, please, please, please make sure you do. I know Twisted Lily in Brooklyn is carrying it. Also, Lucky Scent is carrying it in California. Number 8 on my list is one of my most gentlemanly fragrances in my entire collection. If I want to smell like a gentleman, this is the one that I pull out. I do want to mention, however, that it might not cater to all demographics because it has that level of maturity to it. It's by Florist, and this one is called Honey Oud. This is probably one of the most wearable ouds, if not the most wearable oud I have ever encountered in my entire collection. You have this powdery honey overtone. It just smells exquisite. It smells divine. It smells luxurious. If you haven't got a chance to try this or any Florist products, I'm going to leave a link down below to where you can check them out. What a wonderful, wonderful company. And then we have number 7 on my list, and I actually had the opportunity to meet the perfumer when I attended the Fragrance Foundation this year, and he is such a stand-up individual, and he and I have corresponded a number of times online, but I did buy this, and I have been wearing it ever since. And if there was one fragrance that whenever I smell it, I just think of the color gold. I just see the color gold. This is that fragrance. And by Tiziana Terenzi, it's called Lillipore. And it has galbanum and some other resins. It's sweet. It smells like a very luxurious, refined, and upscale version of D Squared's Potion. So if you like that fragrance, which is one of my favorites, I believe it was done by Nick Minardo, and it has a lot of resins and spices in there. A lot of people say it smells like a Christmas tree to them. This one is up a notch, up a few notches actually. Make sure you give it a try. The next one on my list is a fan favorite for a lot of people, and it's also a favorite of mine as well. It actually comes from one of my favorite houses, but it's from their niche offering of fragrances, from their niche line, the Privé line. And this is a Dior, and it was really hard for me to consolidate it down to one fragrance. But if there's one Dior Privé fragrance, I think I'm going to be wearing a ton this year. It's Fève Délicieuse by François Demachy. What a fantastic interpretation of the note of tonka bean. It's done so well. It's so natural. It's sweet. It's gourmand. It's powdery. It has a cocoa element to it. It smells delicious. Whenever you wear it, whoever's around you will be glued to your neck or wherever else you choose to apply it. But it's a wonderful fragrance. If you haven't tried it, you're certainly missing out. The next one on this list I know is a heavy hitter in the community. I actually purchased it a couple of months ago and I have been in love ever since. This one by Parfum de Marly is called Herod. I know this house has a lot of really great offerings. They have Pegasus. They have a few others that I'm really into. Godolphin, which has a leathery note. This one is all about vanilla and tobacco. And then you have an ambery base. It's just so warm and sensual, but it has this level of sophistication to it that is unmatched. I know for a lot of people, they say this is their holy grail tobacco scent. I would say mine is Tobacco Vanille. You're not going to see that fragrance in this list. It's actually going to be in my winter list. All right, so let's move on to the next one. And this one is a staple for fall. And this has been talked about for a number of years now. And I think its reputation is just growing increasingly, exponentially. Unfortunately, it has recently been discontinued, which is the only downfall to it. And that's my only point of contention about it. But this one from the house of Serge Lutens is called Chergui. And if you take a look at my bottle, the liquid in there is really dark. That is pre-formulation, and it has tobacco, hay, it's powdery. It's so evocative of the fall season. I mean, if there's one fragrance that I had to wear for the rest of my life for the fall, it would be this one. Let me clarify something. With a lot of these fragrances, if someone were to say, Steven, how come you didn't make this #1? Or how come you didn't make this #1 if you're equally passionate about all of them? The answer to that question would be, it really all depends on how I'm feeling on a given day. I can guarantee you right now, I am going to be wearing these a lot. I already have worn these a lot, and I will continue to wear them a lot. It's just that, you know, scent is so subjective. Depending on how I feel in the morning, I might be in the mood to wear one more than the other, but nonetheless, I love all of these on any day, on any given day. Any one of these could have been #1. I mean, these are all my favorites, tried and true. We are getting into the top 3 here, so we have some heavy hitters. And this one is one of my favorites of all time. It's a signature scent if I ever had one. I wore this on my wedding day. I wore it all throughout my honeymoon. I wore it during my bachelor party as well. This one by Creed is called Aventus. I know with this fragrance, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of hate. If you're looking for the most complimented scent, or at least my most complimented scent, this is it. It's incredibly versatile. It's a unique contemporary approach to a citrus-based scent with them fruity nuances and the masculine overtone with the birch tar and the pineapple, the apple, the black currant is just so heavenly, and it's so well blended. Such a spectacular composition by Erwin and Olivier Creed, 7th and 6th generation respectively. All right, we're getting into the top 2 now, and this is going to be difficult because, like I said before, any one of these could have been #1, but this is one of the fragrances that really led my discovery into niche perfumes, and it's one of the first that I ever sampled on LuckyScent.com, and I really have to owe it to the gentleman who put this composition together because this is art in a bottle. If anyone ever, I guess, brings into question whether or not perfume is art, there are 2 fragrances I usually point them in the direction of. We can exempt Secretions Magnifique. I would either point them in the direction of the self-titled Comme des Garçons that smells like industrial glue and packing tape, and this is the next one. And let them read Luc Etern's review as well, because I think it speaks volumes in terms of how much of a magnificent scent this is. This is by Tower Perfumes, and it's called L'air du désert marocain. What a fantastic interpretation of the Moroccan desert. You have warmth from the spices, you have warmth and a sensual component from the amber, but it's a daring fragrance. If you want to smell different, if you want to smell unique, if you want to turn heads, if you want to wear a work of art with you wherever you go, and a fragrance that is going to get you noticed with uncompromising performance and projection, but not necessarily versatility, this is where to go. What an amazing, amazing fragrance. I am honored to have that fragrance in my collection. So I know a lot of you might be looking at this and might be thinking to yourselves, what's #1? Some of you who have been viewers of my channel for a long time, you probably already have a good idea as to which fragrance here is #1. Well, nonetheless, I'm excited to share it with you guys. And this is a fragrance where every time I wear it, I feel like a king. I feel like a sultan. I feel like royalty. I feel like someone who is in control. I can wear it with my chest out, with a great degree of confidence, and I just feel like an improved human being because of it. It's a very expensive fragrance. It could be had for cheaper online. It's composed of one of my favorite perfumers, by one of my favorites, Bertrand Duchaufour, who has done fragrances for L'Artisan Parfumeur, for Fragrantica. He's done Enchanted Forest by the Vagabond Prince. He's done fragrances for Aedes Devanustas. He's done fragrance, oh my God, like his repertoire and his catalog goes on and on. And this one was made to commemorate the 25th anniversary of this brand. You can see it, it's adorned in a very sort of regal and royal way with the Swarovski crystal in the cap. This one is by Amouage and it's called Jubilation 25. You have a berry note and you have resins, namely a Popinax, which also goes by the name of Sweet Myrrh. This is so delectable. This is what the three magi were wearing when they met up with baby Jesus. I'm not kidding you. This is an exquisite, exquisite scent. If you have not tried Jubilation 25 by Amouage, you really do deserve to get yourself a sample of this, whether it be off of, I don't know, Beauty Spin, because I know they have it on Beauty Spin, or Lucky Scent. What an amazing scent, a grand performer. Yes, it has been reformulated in terms of its concentration, not in terms of the smell. So the smell that I have in my pre-formulation click-on cap is the same that you're going to get in your magnetic cap. It's just not going to be as strong. But nonetheless, the performance on this was a beast to begin with. So listen, guys, I am so happy that I had the opportunity to share my top 10 favorite niche fragrances with you guys for the fall of 2016. If you own or have tried any of these fragrances, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe for future videos, top 10s, giveaways, unboxings, and a lot of other fragrance related content. So remember, I smell well so you can smell good, and we'll see you in the next episode.